I guess I don't know the marital status of Shigeru Miyamoto. Yeah, her name is Yasuko Miyamoto. She's on the fucking Wii Wiki. Who made this page? Who made it? No, but I'm just like wondering, like, of all the places, like, there's a wiki for the Wii, and just like, yep, here's a 1-sentence article on Miyamoto's wife.
What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast.
We are the coolest podcast on the net. And I'm not just saying that. This is the first time I've ever seen Dana wear sunglasses indoors. For all those watching on TikTok, we're going to show this, but all those audio listeners who are too old for TikTok, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to take my word for it. Dana is wearing sunglasses indoors. He's like, I don't know, acting too cool for school. He's kind of doing a model pose right now. Welcome to the Virtual Homework Podcast.
Do you know, I can't even wear sunglasses. I have like glasses on underneath my
glasses. Are you one of those cool people who has the glasses that turn into sunglasses when it gets too much sunlight? I feel like those would be incredibly inconvenient.
Absolutely not. I got these glasses from fucking Walmart, and they cost me $300, and it was unreal how expensive glasses are. And they're broken. So donate to our Patreon so I can get new glasses.
If we want to beg for people's money, we're going to make products, okay? We're going to make magnets with Goatsy on it.
A silicone mold of my penis.
There we go. The first item of merch is a Virtual Homework Podcast dildo. Where are we going right now? Welcome to the Virtual Homework Podcast. Have we said that yet?
We are a video... No, we haven't.
I'm Sam. We're a video game podcast for video games.
We are...
Some people, there are sex-related video games that topical, talking about dilds. That's what the cool kids call dildos.
What did we play this week?
We played Gorgonzola.
Yeah, we played Cheese the game.
I would play the shit out of Cheese the game. If they made like a game, like Cheese is a very good Mario speedrunner. If they made a game about Cheese the Mario speedrunner, I would play that. But more importantly, I play a game where you were Cheese.
I think there is a game called that. There's like some mouse game where you ate cheese.
You're playing as a mouse in that game. You're not playing as Cheese. Do you remember like, did you ever read like the Stinky Cheese Man and other stupid fairy tales?
Yeah. I don't remember any of it, but
there are like so many, like rest in peace, that one child author, Beverly Cleary, died at 104 like 2 days ago. I remember, or the only reason I'm bringing this up, because like I was like, who is this? Because it was a popular news story, and like
he made Where the Sidewalk Ends, right?
I forget what they made, but what I'm saying is like I looked up their bibliography, and I'm just like, I know like half these books. I forgot about them because like the children's books for the most part are like 5-minute experiences that you are also like 8 years old, so you forget about them immediately.
Yeah, like Ramona.
Any of these video games?
That's literally the only book I remember.
Are there any Beverly Cleary video games? Let's look at her ludography. What did she program? Is she good at Unity? Well, I guess not anymore. God damn it, that was not something to say.
I literally like remember like 2 of these books.
Well, that's honestly, how many authors do you remember any books? That's better than nothing, right?
I used to read, what was it, the Redwall series. That was pretty sick.
They're making that like a TV show or something. There was like some news on it recently.
I have no interest of having anything to do with that at an adult age.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many like people my age that are like, I saw the Sonic movie and it wasn't good. I'm like, you're not a child, so that makes sense.
It's like, it's them trying to market stuff that we liked as children to other current age children. It's not for you.
That's honestly better than like the other approach, because then you have stuff like Bronies, where it's like now you have My Little Pony shouting out Bronies, so like it's like a positive toxic feedback loop, and it's gonna I have no qualms with what an adult does in this free time, but I just do. Okay, that's fair, as long as it's not hurting anyone, I guess. But like I feel,
no, I want it to hurt everybody.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Is that why you picked this game? What game did we play this week? Gorogoa is what we picked this week. And why did you pick it?
I don't even remember. I think I was just like looking, because I wanted to play a puzzle game, because we've done too many like action games, this and that. And as a aside or whatever, me and Sam, we both very much so enjoy puzzle games. You know, like Puzzle Fighter, I would like to still say is one of my favorite games, one of your favorite games.
I'm not going to classify myself as someone who enjoys puzzle games. I'm going to say I could definitely, there are some people who like hate a genre, and I am 100% not in that camp. But there's also people who love a genre, and like because a game is a certain genre, they'll be more inherent. Like, it's like, oh, this is a platformer, so I'm inherently biased to like it. Puzzle games are completely neutral for me. Like, if a game is like, oh, this is a puzzle game, I'm not like excited to play it. But like, there are a lot of puzzle games I like. There are a lot of puzzle games I don't like.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be classified as a puzzle gamer. That's all I want to say.
No,
okay?
I'm not saying you're classified. I'm just saying like there are a couple of puzzle games that we happen to enjoy.
Not saying I'm classified. I'm not top secret on the
Fuck
podcast.
you.
You are
Whatever,
definitely
we
a
played a
puzzle gamer, okay? You love puzzle games. Except I feel like I like more puzzle games than you on this podcast because we've liked every single one except for some reason you didn't like Baba Is You.
Yeah, the game rubbed me the wrong way. But yeah, we played Gorogoa, which is I think it was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, we played a movie. We played Gorogoa. The whole time I was playing this game, first of all, we mentioned this is a puzzle game, but like, let's get into what this game is. The whole time I was playing this game, I was like, how are we going to talk about this game in the podcast? This is like a weird concept that's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, let me actually try. So basically what happens is you have 4 panels, and you can click on a picture on any of the given 4 panels. You can either zoom out on the pictures, zoom in on certain areas of the pictures, and interact with the different backgrounds. For example, let's say there's a clock. You zoom in on the clock, and all you see is the circle with like the clock face on it. You would click on the edge of the clock face, and you could move that circle to a new panel, and then it would just be like an empty circle, which you can zoom in or zoom out on another picture and then have that circle go over that, and it would like take you to like a new area or something like that. It is kind of confusing, but I mean, it's a very, very interesting interaction and how they make you deal with the world and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's unique and intuitive, even though it's like impossible to explain. Like you're just basically clicking around and you know exactly where to go, what to do. Mm-hmm. The way I would describe this game, and I love doing stuff like this because I feel like it, like I don't want to hurt the artist, but like my description of this game is, yo, this layer ship is dope.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember watching Indie Game the movie and like Soldier Boy was playing Braid and like who's the guy who made Braid? Witness guy? Bald, pretentious man?
Oh, the fuck if I know. Bald, pretentious man.
Jonathan Blow. Jonathan Blow is like watching the video of Soldier Boy play Braid, and he's like, this dude moves backwards, oh!
And you just, anything, like if you just be getting fucked up, they got this game, right? Oh no, this shit called Braid.
It's like this, he didn't get the point of this game at all. I'm depressed. And like, yeah, I don't like people being depressed, but like, this game is obviously trying to be extremely, extremely artsy and like convey this like pretend.
I think it did it pretty well, to be honest.
No, I think it did it really well too. This game is artsy, but it comes off as super pretentious. So I just like, I think this game is a dope layer shit. I'm just like imagining all the people who are playing this game that's like, I just want a fun puzzle game, and like it, not paying attention to the extremely artsy, pretentious message of this game. Like,
oh yeah,
I just think that's funny.
You kind of can ignore it. It doesn't really have much to do with the overall gameplay or anything like that. You kind of just take it as a vehicle of getting the character from different areas to different areas. Basically, the goal of the game is you are a child and you're trying to collect 5 fruits for some reason. You see like this picture of like a bowl with like 5 symbols above it, and they get dispersed throughout this world of layers, I guess you would call it, in which you traverse the different layers, like I said, by moving different items in each layer, which gives you holes in said layer that you drag over other layers that bring you to other layers. You can zoom in, and so on and so forth. This is a devilishly short game. I think I beat this in like 63 minutes.
Steam says you have 1.7 hours of playtime, which I mean, so
I had 103 minutes, but 35 of those minutes were me making dinner.
So yeah, I spent about 2 hours on this game, and then one of the reasons why I spent 2 hours on this game is because like the way that it works is you basically have to click on different sections, solve puzzles, but if you kind of don't know where to go, normally if you just click somewhere off the screen, it'll like say, oh, these are the things you could click on, and like I would just this game, like a lot of puzzle games, eventually you're just able to brute force it because there's no like mechanism, there's no like negative feedback mechanism, so like if you do something wrong, you're not going to die. So like if you just don't know what to do, you could just like try everything with everything, trying to combine everything. I think I call it the Shadowrun syndrome, but no one knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, there was one section that didn't have that, so I just kept trying to do things over and over again, and I got stuck in 30 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, I thought I couldn't click on this,
so
goddammit.
If you look, 100% of sections actually have like how you do it. There's like a little thing that'll give you like a clue of how like the puzzle works.
Okay.
May I ask you which part you got stuck on?
It was the part where you entered a tiny door and then there was like the railroad tracks.
Oh yeah. So there's 3 ways
No,
to
I beat
do
the game.
every
I eventually got it.
Yeah. There's 3 ways to do every puzzle. Just zoom in on something and then find another pane that has the same background.
No, that's exactly what I did, and I did that. Like I was 99% there. For some reason, I thought the panel wasn't clickable when it was. Like I was just if I knew that I could click on this one area, I would have gotten it instantly. But I'm just like, oh, I can't click on that. So like I just like kept doing the same thing over and over again, wondering why it wasn't working. And then I'm like, oh, I'm just an idiot because like I was able to do this the entire time when I thought I wasn't able to do it. Like I don't like on that part or on that idea. Like even for a game this short. Which, thank you, by the way, didn't give me that much homework, Professor Dana. There were still sections that seemed relatively repetitive. Like the blue ball section, there's a section where you have to like make this ball go from like area to area. And like basically it's the same puzzle over and over again until you finally beat the section. The fact that this game is only about I'm gonna be generous and say this game is 2 hours.
I would say like it's like between an hour and 2 hours depending on how. I think
we've discussed this before. You definitely play games faster.
This is a short fucking game. I do like this game retails at $15. This game is not worth $15 in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But like I do genuinely think you beat games quicker than most people. So like I'm gonna say this is a 2 hour experience. There is some replayability. In fact, like there were achievements for this game for doing some stuff first try. Did you think this game had any replay value at all?
No,
it's kind of like it's a story-driven puzzle game, and I feel like puzzle games in general, unless they're procedurally generated, don't really have that much replayability because like if you solve the puzzles, you solve the puzzles, and then especially if it's story-driven, you're gonna see the same thing over and over again. I personally didn't like the story that much. I think that where this game really excels is the art style. It's all hand-drawn layers.
This game
it's
is
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
it looks so cool. Like this is like a piece of genuine art. Whether it's like the backgrounds, the music, like everything, it comes together to make like a truly enjoyable experience.
And that's where I think that they thought they were justified in charging as much as they did. I actually agree with you. Like normally I'm not one to complain about price because I think that video game development is something that is undervalued in general, but this game, given its length, I would say $15, maybe make that 10. 10 is pushing it for a lot of people. A lot of people say this is a $5 experience.
I think this would be a $5 game, or make it $7.50 and go on sale for $5.
Yeah, like we got this on sale for $7.50. It was $15 originally. But yeah, I definitely think that the creator of this game thought they were justified in the price due to the fact that there are so many amazing hand-drawn animations in this game.
Oh yeah,
that like you could see the effort put in there. And so there's like the argument that people pay. I mean, people were already like before the pandemic, like talking about how they thought movies were overpriced, and I agreed for the most part. But like people see a 2 hour movie all the time, that changes their lives, and they're able to like justify their $15 purchase for a ticket and like some like snacks or something like that. So from that, I think that is not necessarily as bad of a value as people are making it out to be. It's just that people are so spoiled when it comes to video games.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. We are spoiled as fuck. You know, we pay $10 for like I think Hollow Knight, I spent like $7 and I played like 60 hours of that game. Like, and that game's probably just as beautiful. But the hand-drawn aspect of this game definitely brings it up a notch, and like really appreciating. Like I said, it's a piece of art. Like this game is genuinely a piece of art. Like I think that the soundtrack has like is like Grammy award winning. Like that's how good it is. Like
the whole thing though is that I saw this when I went to the discussion section on Steam, and like there's a large subsection of people who are refunding this game because Steam has a 2 hour window where if you play a game and don't like it, you're actually able to refund it and get all your money back. So people are saying because the game was so short, even if they enjoyed it, they're refunding it because they don't feel like it was worth the price tag. And I understand where they're coming from, but I think this is the most scummy thing you could possibly do. Like, holy shit, what an asshole. You beat their game, enjoyed it, acknowledge you enjoy it, but just because you thought it was a bit overpriced, you are like giving this. They probably actually lose money. I don't know. Usually chargebacks work that way. But do you have any opinions on that? Did you see that at all? Like, I understand where they're coming from.
I read a lot of the reviews and stuff like that, and I guess that a lot of people that did give negative reviews and said the same thing and then refunded it. I feel people, if you give it a negative review and do that, maybe I feel a little bit better about that. But if you give it like, oh yeah, this game's fantastic, blah blah blah, but I still refunded, I actually feel more mad at people that gave it like good reviews and then refunded it.
They're like self-aware in their shitty behavior, basically.
Yeah.
Or I guess that both people are self-aware of their shitty behavior, but I feel like the person who doesn't like the game is a lot more justified than the person who likes the game. In fact, it's not really that shitty behavior to refund a game that is within the refund window if you really did not enjoy the game.
I think this game is too short for the price. To be honest.
100%.
Like
I don't think
anyone's $1.99.
I think that this game, is it on mobile? If it's not on mobile, it is.
Yeah.
This is a $2 mobile game, like legitimately, and I don't know how much it costs on mobile, but I see it being a paid game that gets some traction because it's a great... the game would also really just excel on touchscreen. I don't know. I want to go back to the pretentious aspect because the game is hand-drawn, like beautiful, but I thought the game tried to convey a message and was all over the place, and like I didn't really like it at all. And I feel like they were just trying to... Like, it's so easy to feel like you're making a powerful message when your message is like, war sucks and aging is difficult. And that's basically what the game was. Like, it really didn't have a clear message. It was like a guy that got older and older, and all of a sudden some buildings were bombed and rebuilt, and it's like the end. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all it is. I think it's one of those things, like, it's open interpretation, man. I mean, to be honest, I don't give a fuck about the story. I was just more interested with the puzzling aspects of it. This could have been a Flash game for all intents and purposes based on how short it was. But it made me want more because I loved how different in the mechanics were other than compared to like other puzzles. And the biggest thing for me and what makes me love puzzles is things make sense. I hate puzzles that don't make sense and you just kind of brute force and you solve them and you're like, I don't know why it's solved. I guess I go on to the next one. Like, I understood why every puzzle worked here. For example, like the one time where I found out where like this game clicked for me and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. I actually have it written down is so like there was like a rock that falls down and like goes through like multiple screens to like break a moth in like a glass. Yeah. Like when I solved that puzzle, I was like, holy shit, this is like super, super cool.
Yeah, the perfect puzzle game is not brain dead and that like you're not able to like completely solve it instantly, but it should make sense in its universe and like you should feel satisfied to beat it. And I feel like that's with Baba Is You, that's where it went wrong, where like some of the interactions, like, what the fuck, how did this happen? And like it makes sense after the fact, but like it's nothing you would ever like think of without brute forcing everything, and that's probably where it didn't excel for you. I don't know, like I definitely enjoyed this game. I think that the next game from this developer, because it was a sole developer with a sole illustrations by the same developer. I think the music was by someone else, but like this person is obviously talented and they're going to make great things. So I look forward to their second game. I thought this was cool, but again, a little too short. Are you sure you...
What's that?
I was going to say, are you sure you didn't have like any other reason? Like, did you literally just like find this on Steam in the puzzle game section? That's it?
I literally don't remember how I saw this. I think like I was watching something and they were talking about games. I was like, puzzle game, sure. I literally don't remember where it came up in topic. There's like a bunch of games that came in a list that I have in my little section, but I don't remember where I got them from.
That's fair. I have like a 80 billion game list, and like I probably couldn't tell you where I randomly saw one on too.
I kind of like finding things in the ether and then just throwing it down and just like, hey, let's try it. Like it gives me, I don't know, something to do, and we'll play things that maybe I wouldn't have normally thought of.
Yeah, I would tell you that I would never have put in this game on Gorogoa. This game, for some reason, like it's harder to pronounce than last week's game, Gaunoboken or whatever it was. Hinotori Gaunoboken.
I like this game. I like this game a lot, actually. I think this is a super fucking cool game. Like I said, the music, everything about this game is so fun. Like, this is a really great game. It's just too expensive for what you get, unfortunately.
Yep. and I know I sound like a hypocrite because I've said that video games are not expensive enough as a software engineer and knowing what it goes into them. But like, yeah, I think that this game is definitely pushing it. Definitely pushing it. I think that there's no reason for this not to be $10, and even that's pushing it. Most people would probably say it's too expensive at that point. I mean, this game, honestly, what it really made me nostalgic for, or really made me like want to play. Did you get this? I felt this had a really early PC game aesthetic.
Yeah, like it reminded me a lot of like the early like point and click type shit for PC.
Not even point and click, like puzzle games. Do you remember like that one like marble game from like the late 90s, early 2000s?
I don't think so. I guess like some like the more adventure games like kids had, like Zoombinis and shit like that, maybe.
Marble Drop for the PC in like 1997. Like really all it was is like the cursor and loading on each of the individual panels.
Yeah.
Like the art style was significantly better than in these like late 90s, early 2000s games. Yeah. But like the aesthetic just reminded me a little bit of that. I'm just like, I want to play these. I want to play these like really old school puzzle games. I bet they don't hold up at all, but I still want to do it.
Yeah, with like the like you can see like the game, and then like when it starts doing like the animations or motion video, it like gets grainy and like the video happens or whatever.
Yeah, that's because this game also had like a low frame rate, but it was intentional because it was like drawing to drawing. So like it reminded me of that. It did not have a low frame rate, but like the cutscenes had a low frame rate. Let me just say that.
So my final rating on this game is if you are a Saudi prince who is has so much money you don't know what to do with it, buy this game, you'll have a wonderful time.
Yes, I think this is a great game. I think this is, if this game was $5, it would be nominated for awards by Hades' side.
Yeah, like it is super fucking cool.
Like, yeah. This is like one of the more refreshing games I've ever played, but you cannot justify what is it? Okay, I'll lower it down. You cannot justify a 90-minute experience at this price when Hades is like 300 hours and less than double the price. I don't know. Yeah. Let's bring it back to Hades as indie game to indie game. That's a good
point though. Like if this was $5, this would be heralded as like one of the great games, because this is like, I think it's on that level. Like the amount I enjoyed this game, like as short as the experience was, like I don't know, like
it's very easy to call a game unique, but there's like a game to be unique and like amazing is another thing. Like we played Wadham, and Wadham was really fun, and Wadham was very unique, but Wadham was not a great game.
No.
You know?
These puzzles were like the perfect difficulty too. Like don't get me wrong, I love frustratingly difficult sometimes, but none of these puzzles felt like too difficult. You had to sit there and think about it and go back and forth and go like, here's this thing here. Here's this thing here. It lent itself to put those little clues out once you go from screen to screen to figure out like, oh wait, that's a cog. I remember seeing that cog in the other room. I didn't know what that did then. Let's see if I can move those around, and then you kind of figure it out.
Yeah, I think that people really underestimate as developers. I mean, first of all, if you're a developer and you're attached to a product and you put a lot of effort into your product, you're going to be like, yeah, of course I'm going to charge $15 for this because I put a shit ton of effort into it. So you're already biased in that regard. But I feel like a lot of people don't realize the impact price plays into it. There's so many games on Metacritic that are rated low, and I'm like thinking, oh, this was a $60 release. If they just released this game for $30, $40, this would be heralded as like a great game, great value. Yep. But you just don't see that actually happen that often. Developers get greedy, for lack of a better term. And it's a shame because I feel like people are too... Okay, I mean, I get it. Like, you are legitimately, if you're an indie developer, worried about being able to put food on the table. But I feel like a lot more people are going to buy your game if it's $5 versus $15. That's all I'm going to say.
You're shooting yourself in the foot either way. You spend, like, your life's work, making some sort of game, and let's say you sell yourself short, and then it doesn't sell enough copies, and then you're nowhere, But then the game does go viral, and you do make a bunch of money. It's you don't know what's going to happen because is this the guy's first game like that he's actually released? Or?
Yes, yeah, Buried Signal.
I eagerly look forward to what he comes out with next. I think he's probably going.
I have no idea if it's a he or she, but
how
dare you?
I apologize. Shout out to my non-binary binary homies.
Yeah, I agree with that, but actually it is Jason Roberts. I just think it's funny that we both assume he when we should not. We should not. How dare us?
Yeah. I look forward to his or hers or they's next project, because I think they'll learn a lot of things about this, and I'm sure they're paying attention to the reviews, and I hope they do more cool stuff.
I'm sure they did not sell as many copies as they wish they did, and I'm sad to say that. But like, I think that again, I think that $15 had a significant impact on how people view this game, and we've talked about the price of this game more than the game. Like in this review, you could have like beaten a third of the game, and like 90% of that was based on the price of the game. So like it's
like fuck. Like I want to recommend this game to people, like straight up. It's just too expensive.
Just recommend it in a couple years when this game is actually $5, because that's how video games work. Sadly. I mean,
like,
not
wouldn't
really
this be
sadly,
a dope
but...
game on like the DS with like your little stylus?
Oh yeah, shit, that would be amazing. But I think that's just more timing. The game came out in 2017 is actually pretty old. Really, this game's 3 years old and it's still $15. Yeah. Anyway, but
4 years old.
December 2017. Okay, it's not. We're not. Time isn't moving at like breakback speed yet. Okay,
wouldn't that be like dope? Wouldn't this be dope as fuck with a stylus? Like how you're moving like the screens
honestly,
around and stuff?
Just the two screens going from screen to screen would be very, very, very smooth. I'm just going to remember this game because I have a Steam card and background. I don't know. Do you think Steam has too many like, what the fuck is on Steam? I have like this list of badges and I have this list of like cards.
It's like achievement points that like, it's just more like, you know, flaunt your dick type shit.
I don't
like,
understand.
I got these cards.
There's like 90 different things on Steam, and I feel like first of all, I forgot to bring this up because it was very important. You gushed so hard about the GOG client. Did you get this game on Steam or GOG?
Steam.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's on GOG, but it doesn't matter because again, I'm not. I actually,
what if it's $5 on GOG?
Yeah, what if it's free on GOG? Goddamn.
Let's check. I'm checking right now.
You're checking? I have been using GOG because I've been like every now and then playing like half an hour of Cyberpunk and getting sad that I have so much of this game. And yeah,
do you find yourself liking that game the more you play it?
No, I actually find myself noticing Cyberpunk's flaws the more I play it, but I think the story is interesting enough. Like a lot of like I feel like people do definitely like they don't give stories in AAA video games enough credit. Most of them actually have pretty awesome stories.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But the story's been figured out. Okay, there's the 7 different plots. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But no,
how do you spell Gorogoa?
Gorogoa. So it's like Gorgonzola, but not.
Nope, it is not on
Gorogoa. Gorogoa.
It is not on here.
Well, GOG
Shout out to
BTFO.
GOG. It's like Steam without all the fucking bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to say. Like, I don't really understand like 90% of Steam's features. I'm also boomer, but join our curator group. Find it on our Twitter. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think that video games are cool and Cyberpunk is not. Like, I get more disappointed by the day. That game's so broken. That game's so broken, and like I don't know, like you're lucky. Like I feel like Wadham, you didn't have issues. Some people do. Like I feel like it's luck of the draw hardware. It's probably like whatever their dev kit was on Unity, like whatever graphics card they used, it was the one you're optimized for.
Well, I always have like very middle of the road, like high end middle of the road stuff. I don't go like ultra, so I think that's what helps me a lot. I think like I am basically what most people with a higher end machine are going to have. So I imagine this is like what stuff is optimized for. Yeah,
you're the person with the most popular graphics card in the world or whatever. So like that's it's like when I forget, was it the Sex Pistols? It's the Sex Pistols. They wouldn't play their music on like extreme audio setup before they sent it out. They would like play it in a boombox and see if it was mixed well. So like the average person could actually listen to their music.
Yeah. Because then otherwise it sounds like fucking garbage, like through like a boombox or something.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's like, oh, we don't expect anyone to actually have the graphics card that came out 3 days ago. So yeah, it's all going to crypto anyway. So it's one of those situations where like just because you have better hardware doesn't mean that it's actually a better experience. But I don't know what happened this week.
Speaking of better experiences,
are you going to play the new RTS by all the people who left Blizzard?
I don't know, man. It's like all these people like, oh, X this employee, X that employee. It's like until the game comes out, until we see gameplay and everyone's getting excited for it, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care who's making a game. If it's good, it's good.
More context, there's basically a company that was founded by some higher ups at Blizzard. I don't know where they were in Blizzard, but they got $10 million in funding to make a new RTS. I feel like I hear this news constantly because Ben Brode, the main Hearthstone developer, he made Second Dinner, I think is the name of it. Second Breakfast, I don't know, some reference. Second Dinner, I think it is, because Second Breakfast is Lord of the Rings. But he's making his own card game. We have this RTS. I feel like there's other situations I've heard about. And I feel like, yeah, we've heard about this for years and nothing has happened. So either we're going to get a wave of random games made by ex-Blizzard staff. Honestly, probably like half the industry is ex-Blizzard staff. When you're like one of the largest AAA developers, like going from company to company, you could probably call a lot of people ex-Blizzard staff. But people just love to shit on Blizzard, so they're just making these articles being Blizzard better be scared.
They're making constant bad decisions. Like I think we were talking about briefly before the podcast, how for World of Warcraft, you can no longer buy 1 month of game time. You have to set up a subscription and then cancel it manually, or you have to buy it at 2 months at a time. So, for example, let's say you're coming back from the game, some friends are playing or something like that, and you want to buy, hey, I'll get a month of game time, play for fun. Can't do that anymore. You have to buy 2 months.
How does the free trial work?
So every piece of content up to before the new expansion is free. I think you get to like level 20 before you have to like actually buy the game. But like the free trial actually has a lot of shit.
Okay, because that's the only time I've ever actually played WoW. I remember back in the day, we're talking like 2008. I played the free trial for like a week and a half. But I didn't actually play. I sent my friend's number in the text chat and said free phone sex, and then like a lot of creepy men called my friend and he's like, it was a classic 2008 prank. Doxing your friend, telling creepy men to sex him on the phone.
I mean, that still happens. That's where you go to Moonguard on you go to Goldshire. But that's a story for another day. I'll show you that sometime. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of sucks for that kind of stuff. Or like me, when I'm feeling adventurous, I have like 8 other accounts that I'll sometimes get like 1 month of game time for.
How much is 1 month, by the way? Is it $15?
Yeah, it's $15.
Would you rather play a month of WoW or Gorogoa?
A month of WoW, probably.
Oh wow. Are you telling me how many hours are in a month? I don't know. It's. I could see it being worth it.
It's like 80 hours, like minimum of fun, or like 90 minutes.
I don't want to like harp on it too much because again, my life has been changed by 90-minute movies. Also, I want to just go back and say I sounded like such an asshole when I was talking about like shitting on people's art, just like reducing it to, oh, this shit's dope. I was just like thinking back to like when I was talking about that 1960s Senegalese movie Mondavi. I'm just like,
you're like, yo, dog, that shit was dope.
That shit was dope. Like if Stanley Kubrick was like talking to me like, oh, how do you like The Clockwork Orange? That shit was dope. It's like I don't think he's hoping for that reaction.
Dude, we're trying to relate to these kids nowadays and say like, yo, art is cool.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think we got a TikTok? It's not because I enjoy TikTok content. I need to channel my inner Zoomer and get people interested in video games.
Is cool.
How are you doing, fellow kids? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What were we talking about? World of Warcraft, video games. Yeah, I mean, so now you have to spend $30 instead of 60 or $30 instead of $15.
It's basically just like it makes no sense. Like a lot of people are like, this isn't a big deal. You already buy WoW and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, but for people that have a reoccurring sub that has been playing this for years, it's fine. It's not affecting us. I haven't paid for a sub in years. I use in-game gold, but it's for like the friend that wants to come back for a month. Now they have to pay $30 instead of just 15, you know? And it's like,
With these decisions, you have to think of like what is the benefit? Like cuz sometimes they'll like be like, "Oh, we're shutting servers down to maintain costs." And like you could be like, "Oh, you're only shutting down servers because you want people to use your newer, more expensive expansion." I'm not talking about WoW at this point. I'm talking like what random video games. And it's like, "Oh, there's at least like the argument that like doing X saves the company money and they can invest resources in Y or something like that." But
so my understanding is that the game is hemorrhaging people right now more so than it ever has because there's nothing to do in the game.
I mean, that's fair, but like if you are a company and you're trying to explain why you're getting rid of 30-day passes when like it's not like they save money like doing a 30-day pass for a 60-day pass, like it's the same rate.
Mind you, you can do a 1 month sub, but it's auto reoccurring. But you can just like cancel it beforehand. But you know that's intentional because sometimes people forget.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
blah, blah, blah.
I've spent like hundreds of dollars for things I only expected to do 1 month because I completely forgot about it.
I just think it comes off as very like scummy. Like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I was trying to say is like this comes off as in transparently greedy move. There isn't really any benefit to them doing this besides making it harder for people to spend less money. So,
I mean, but it's like I'm getting shit on by people being like, "Oh, it's not even that big of a deal. Like this is like you're saying the sky is falling." I'm like, "That's not falling. It just kind of."
The person telling you it's not a big deal is someone who's played more WoW than like someone spent on like a doctorate.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I literally have, I think, like 1,700 days played.
Dude, 1,700 days. Oh my god, that's should have been solving world hunger, man. Come on,
Solving this dick.
Pickup lines by Dana. Dude, that sounds like something like an ICP member would say.
Why was I have to get into this conversation?
Yeah,
ICP they got labeled like what, like a gang or something.
We're
like
like
that?
8 years late to this, but like, you know, sometimes when we finish the podcast, we're just like talking to ourselves and
about like random shit.
Yeah, random shit. So it's like 1 a.m. my time, and I'm just like, yo, remember Miracles by ICP? And it's like, yeah, and I'm like,
oh yeah, we were like blasting it, looking at the music video. It is so terrible. It is so
It
bad.
hasn't held up in the best way. It's like it already
never held up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like it's somehow gotten even worse. But like that's even more hilarious. Yeah. So ICP's a gang, and shout out to our Juggalo fans. We hope you get off the FBI terrorist organization list. Oh, sorry, gang list. Very different than terrorist organization list.
Yeah.
Probably not mutually exclusive, but...
Yeah, you know, ISIS, ICP, same thing, you know.
Honestly, kind of hard to differentiate based on the name. Like, you could definitely, if you're thinking about both, say one instead of the other. They both start with I, and if you're in ISIS or a ICP-affiliated gang, you might have a difficulty spelling in the first place. What I will say, though, is this is what happens when there is, like, nothing. There's nothing this week. Like, come on.
Yeah,
we had, like, we have, like, a shared topic folder, and we had, like, literally one thing the entire week. Let's look something up. Let's look something up.
Like, this is us before the podcast. Like, oh, let's find one piece of news each, and it's just, like, Reddit, Femboy Hooters.
Oh, shit, this is cool, but I don't care.
What?
Game Preservation Group releases over 700 PS2 prototypes and unreleased demos. It's cool. I don't care. I think that's a good descriptor.
Yeah, it is cool, but I don't care either. It's like, I'm not going to play any of them.
Who's a PS2 diehard?
I mean, I love the PS2.
No, everyone loved the PS2 when it came out, but who's like in 2021 be like, I fucking love my PS2?
Well, no one who's like saying like, oh, I want to play like my 2DS. Like, no one.
No, people are like legitimately like even the generation around the same time, like Xbox 360, people still love the Xbox 360, like GameCube, like right before that. Like people, I guess Xbox 360
because a lot of those
after
games
PS2.
you're able to play on like different platforms now. I feel.
Yeah, but even the Dreamcast, like the entire Dreamcast library is on PC at this point, or other platforms, and people still love the Dreamcast. I feel like the people who enjoyed the PS2 are just the people who are like chasing the zeitgeist more than like caring about a specific system. It's like, oh shit, I'm just getting this because it's popular and it has all the games.
I mean, I like the PS2. I thought it was like one of the best systems.
No,
of all time.
everyone loves the PS2, but like it's just like it's not like because of intense brand loyalty. Like PS3 is where like the loyalty started.
Yeah, which I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, like even the PlayStation has some like weird loyalty in that like people are just like, oh, the PS1 was like it had a lot of hidden gems, and like people still loved the PS1 at the time, but like people are going back to the PS1 and being like, wow, through all this like absolute crap, there's some good shit there. But like the PS2, I don't know, it just like being the most popular system, it doesn't have that cult status, like most popular system of all time. Like even the Wii.
I disagree though. I think there's a lot of games for the PS2 that are still considered some of like the best games of all time. You basically just pick out all like the Final Fantasies, any of like the Suikoden series, like basically all the JRPGs. You know, some of like the platformer games, like the Jak and Daxter series, like Ratchet and Clank, like literally like the list goes on of like some of like the best games. Like
no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying like the fact is like there isn't a cult status for the system. No one's arguing that like the PS2 doesn't have some of the best games of all time, but like there aren't that many people nostalgic for the PS2 compared to other systems. Like Nintendo is like the absolute king of nostalgia, but
oh yeah,
like even the fanboyism for Sony, like it just.
I feel the same way about like the Xbox 360 though. I feel like people feel the same way about Xbox 360 as they do about PS2. We just remember having a lot of fun with it, but like now we've moved on, and a lot of things that we played on those can be played in like like other ways now, so we don't need to like beat our dicks to these systems.
Yeah, but I mean, I still feel like maybe I'm biased because I loved my Xbox 360, but like I feel like
I loved
people,
mine too. I think that was actually better than the PS2 personally.
Oh, 100%. I didn't have a PS2, so I don't give a shit about the PS2. But like, there are a lot of games. I mean, there's games on the PS2 and Xbox 360 that you can't play anywhere else. But like, I feel like people are definitely nostalgic for the Xbox 360 more than they're nostalgic for the PS2.
Yeah, I think it's about the same. I think you may be biased because you never had a PS2 versus like I literally like we played so much Grand Theft Auto, we literally had to get two PlayStation 2s because we burned it out. Like we would literally play it for 20 hours a day every day for like years.
Jesus. I mean, like, I'm just trying to say, like, I feel like Sony fanboyism didn't really start till the PS3.
I would say fanboy. Well, the thing is, the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out like almost relatively close to one another. PS3 and Xbox
$599 US. Giant enemy crab.
Yeah, PS3 and Xbox 360 is closer to one another than Xbox 360 and PS2, I'm pretty sure.
No, but I'm not arguing about the Xbox 360 versus PS2 at this point. I'm just saying, like, when I think of people who are like super like into Sony systems,
I had the original Xbox, and I thought that system was fucking sick as fuck too. So
okay. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but hey. I just think like the thing about preservation is that you see a lot of weird shit come out of that. Like so yeah, I don't care about the PS2, but I'm interested in like this a little bit just due to the fact that like you were with me when like we were playing all that random dumped shit on my SNES, right?
Oh yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Half it would be like hentai with like the same looping music or something.
Yeah, and like I bet that's a lot of the stuff that's coming out of these like 700 prototypes.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like booting up either a PS2 or a PS2 emulator.
It
could
be
for
like
some reason it's hard for me.
Like cover racing, like that was a prototype. That could be like
but that was PS1. That was PS1.
But that could be like the type of stuff that they find there.
Yeah. I think that we're gonna see a lot of stuff come out of this for years to come. But I don't know.
Well, no, you were mentioning systems that people were nostalgic for, and you mentioned the GameCube. I think it's funny that when the GameCube came out, everybody hated it. Everybody was like, this thing sucks.
I loved it because I had one.
I had one too. It was one of my favorite systems. Like, oh, it's the purple lunchbox. But yeah, people made
fun of it. Now it's like considered one of the best systems of all time.
Of all time, because we're like, I think we're seeing it through a different lens of like, wait, Nintendo smashes so fucking hard on like everything they've ever do. I think a lot of it is just because of Melee, to be honest. I feel like that's like 60% of it.
Yeah, no, actually, I was gonna interject with like, I genuinely think that the GameCube is overrated at this point. It's a great system and it has great games for it, but I don't think that like its overall quality is significantly better than other systems. Like, yeah, it's better than something like the N64, but like when you think about the list of great GameCube games, the list doesn't go down that far. It's also the same, I think, with the Dreamcast.
I actually disagree. I could probably name like 40 fantastic games for like the fucking GameCube that are like amazing.
No, I agree with that, but like I think that there's a lot of shit for the GameCube that like,
I think there's more good games
about.
than bad games, to be honest.
I think that you would have to look through the entire list and then realize how much like shovelware crap there is for the GameCube.
Well, yeah, there's shovelware crap, but that's like Madden.
No, there's shovelware crap for that, but like I think that the list of GameCube games. Okay, let's do it. Let's go through the list of GameCube games.
Oh my god, just look up like top 100 game.
No, I got it. I got it.
We're both gonna fucking do it.
All right, Metroid Prime good, Resident Evil 4 good, Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess and Wind Waker
Collector's Edition good, Soul Calibur 2 amazing, Beautiful Joe amazing, Eternal Darkness amazing, SSX 3 one of my favorite games. But
you gotta remember that like some of these games are on other consoles too.
Correct. Melee, Super Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, Resident Evil Remake, the Master
Beautiful
Quest.
Joe. For some reason, like the entire like I'm on Metacritic right now. I don't know what you are.
That's what I am. Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2.
Like 90% of these games are sports games. It's weird.
Yeah, because they were considered good.
But I guess the question is like
F-Zero GX, Burnout 2, Splinter Cell.
Okay, I get it. There's a lot of good games, but like I feel like how many good games have to be for a system to be considered like one of the best of all time? Like I feel like yes, there are great games for the GameCube.
Literally all these games are like 10 out of 10. Like Beyond Good and Evil, one of the best platformers of all fucking time. Super Monkey Ball, Paper Mario, Mario Kart Double Dash.
You are not letting me finish. I'm not saying that there are not extremely good 10 out of 10 games on the GameCube, but I feel like it's just not justified when you compare it to the libraries on other systems, that like the GameCube is considered like better than a lot of them. I feel like with every single popular system, there are so many good games at each system that you can't just say, oh, listing off a bunch of games and then all of a sudden like this is the best system of all time. You have to compare.
I never
like,
said
the
it was
absolute
best of all
bangers.
time. I was just more so looking back on the fact that people thought it was shit in the back in the day, and I think it's a very, very good system. I would not. You use the term overrated. I would strongly disagree. I'm not going to say it's the best ever, but I don't think it's overrated.
I am not saying it's overrated.
You did. You said
I said that, but that's not what I meant. It's simultaneously underrated and overrated. It was completely underrated on release, but I feel like now that people are looking at it and saying it's amazing, now people have boomeranged too hard in the other direction, and they're saying it's better than it was because they're like, I guess, compensating from that.
I disagree.
Okay. I mean, I've heard so much like praise about the GameCube, especially on like places like Reddit, when I think that these are people who just really like Smash. Like the GameCube has an amazing library, and I love the GameCube. It is my third favorite system. It goes, fourth favorite system: SNES, Dreamcast, Xbox 360, GameCube. But I feel like I just see so much praise for the GameCube that like is unfounded compared to others. Like
I disagree,
it's kind of like,
though. Like, I think that, like, you look at the graphics on some of these games, it's like, they hold up a lot more than a lot of...
Most of them are actually shit. I think
I disagree, though. Like,
no, you're saying that, but the games you're looking at are games that are really cartoony in the first place. Wind Waker, Paper Mario,
correct.
They look like good games. But that's because they chose an art style that would specifically stand the test of time. You look at games like Twilight Princess, and like Twilight Princess does not look good now. I mean, they had an HD
awful.
remake.
Like, if you put it on like a nice TV and stuff like that, it does not look terrible. Compared to like other 3D platforms that are coming out that time, like PS2 looks fucking garbage. Like, Xbox looks garbage.
PS2 was earlier. Actually, when did PS2 come out?
March 4th, 2000.
It's about a year.
Xbox
a year and a half.
Release date was 2001. So, I mean, like, they were all the same generation, but GameCube looks the best.
Same generation, but I think that a year in hardware actually does make a decent difference. Like, because it was a year and a half before the PS2 and the GameCube. I'm not like trying to justify.
Also, they also came out with like
the
PS2 like Pro or whatever like that. They had like upscaled shit. I still think out of that generation specifically, I think the GameCube looks the best out of all three of those.
I don't disagree there. I mean, like maybe I just think there aren't really any bad consoles themselves are inherently good, and there's a few that are like if we're excusing like the Atari Lynx and like some shitty consoles that didn't get any traction, like the popular consoles. There is almost no bad console. It's just that, like, maybe I just see. I think on Reddit specifically, because Reddit is like weirdly obsessed with things.
Reddit is like I don't even go on Reddit anymore, to be honest. I also think I'm
really frustrated with Reddit. I like posted to you, like I was like, wow, this is so interesting as fuck, and they're literally talking about the Cars movie and how everything looks like Cars. I'm like, is this blowing your mind, man? Are you 13?
Wow, the
getting
Cars.
10,000?
Everything looks like Cars in the Cars movie. I'm
just like, this is the worst site in the world. But I think that Reddit just gets obsessed with certain things, and they just the perfect example is Keanu Reeves. Like Keanu Reeves, he's a great actor, but if you only got your opinions from Reddit, you would think he's the literal best actor of all time. Whenever you see a GameCube post on like r/gaming or some like popular gaming subreddit, it's like the GameCube is the best system of all time. I can't believe it wasn't as successful as the other consoles. And I'm just like, is it really the best of all time, though? Like, when you look at these games? I think
there's arguments to say it's one of the best systems.
One of the best is very different than the best, though.
Yeah. I would say it's one of the best for sure. I may have a different opinion on it because I actually was at an age like, because you're like 5 years younger than me, aren't you? Or 5 or 6?
I am 26 right now.
Yeah, so you're like 5 years younger than me. So it's like I was 11 when you were like 6. So I was experiencing a lot of these systems, like, at an age that maybe I felt differently about them.
I would disagree in that regard, in that like we both had GameCubes at formative parts in our lives, but I think mine was at a more formative stage. Like I was playing these games when I was like 8 to like 11, like playing like the shit out of these games. I was enjoying like 8 to like 12. Like I was really, really enjoying my GameCube. My favorite game of all time is T2ID. So
yeah, it's such a good game.
Yeah.
I actually want to play
It's hard to overstate how impactful the GameCube was in my life.
Can
but
I
could just recognize
have a complete aside from the GameCube thing? We were talking about Beautiful Joe a second ago.
Yeah.
They had a demo for a Beautiful Joe that came GameCube magazine.
Show me your moves. That's not Beautiful Joe. Fuck.
Yeah, it came in some magazine or something like that, and it was a demo. The thing is that when you played it, it deleted everything on your memory card.
Oh my god. I mean, I remember that game actually taking up a lot of space. I had Beautiful Joe and Beautiful Joe 2. I think those are some of the more underrated games on the system, and
actually, I think it might have been the PlayStation version. I think it was PlayStation Magazine, but it was like a whole thing where like they actually had to send out like a whole bunch of like sorries. It literally like would delete your entire memory card.
I had no idea that. I thought it was a GameCube exclusive. I'm seeing now there is a PS2 version, but oops.
Actually, Google Beautiful Joe delete memory card.
I think that is one of the biggest tragedies in gaming right now, that there isn't another Beautiful Joe game. I mean, the system, or the series, I mean, you're saying that there was a controversy where your entire memory was deleted, so maybe it wasn't perfect. I think from a gameplay perspective, those are pretty much perfect at what they set out to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And Hideki Kamiya is like, he's doing some pretty good shit with like, I don't know, he made like Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta. So he's busy.
Is he the same person who did those?
Yeah, Hideki Kamiya.
See, it's just, I love that whole like super ultra stylized, like different, almost like, not want to say like anti-hero, but like kind of like almost a caricature of like what someone thinks about with like a protagonist in like a Western video game.
I think that a character is not the word I would say. I would say just like bucking the norms. Like Beautiful Joe is just some random dude.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's Beautiful Joe. And like Bayonetta, that is kind of like a more classic anti-hero, right? I don't know. I haven't played the Bayonetta series.
Either way, like I really enjoy how they do that. We got into like 5 different asides in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, like I seriously, what I'm trying to say is there should be a new Beautiful Joe for the new console era, but I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen. I mean, like, what else we have this week besides like, I don't know, a fucking boat? I don't give it. I think the boat shit's funny, but I can't contribute to this. Anything that is possible to contribute on a boat conversation has been the funniest thing I saw, though.
I don't even know what happened. Like
the Suez Canal. You know about the canal?
Yeah. It's like some boat like went sideways, and that was what happened.
Yeah, it's jammed. It's stuck.
Okay.
It's like, oh no, step boat. I'm stuck in the Suez Canal.
Okay.
Can you help?
I did see
out?
some good ass memes on fucking Twitter about it, but it's just like, that's how boring this week was. My
favorite thing, and it didn't get that many likes, so I don't think a lot of people saw this, but like someone just commented, because apparently there was a news article about in Florida, like someone like ramped their boat out of a lake and like landed in the middle of a highway, and everyone's like, they're just like, I saw
that. Yeah.
Using boats to make like terrorist attacks. I don't know. Boat shit.
I just saw someone
podcast.
saying, I was just saying people were trying to escape like capitalism or something like that. That's what I saw, because I have like the lefty algorithm, so it's like,
yeah, you have the Hooters algorithm. I'm not even going to get into that. Someone who like triangulates what was trending on Saturday could like look into this.
Dude, but I had fucking femboy Hooters fucking trending on my Twitter.
You revealed it too early. We were gonna talk about like, or I was gonna find out next time, and then people were gonna, it's the hook. Get you into listening to episode 39 or whatever.
We can talk about it next week.
Yeah, we could talk about it next week. Tune in next week for, he's gonna explore the femboy Hooters hashtag.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, is that a fucking good episode or what?
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you did like it.
All right, here's what you're going to do. 5 stars Apple Podcast. Subscribe on SoundCloud. Go to Spotify, get all your friends, and make them subscribe. Gunpoint. Basically, whatever you can do to make this podcast successful, we don't care what it is. We don't care what the means are. Thanks, gamers.
What he said, but slightly less aggressive and more loving.